One of the things that always bugged me about a beautiful gondola or flat car or even hopper cars is so often when you get them, they're unloaded. Uh, and nobody ever thinks to put loads in them, or if they do, they're crappy looking plastic loads. So what I'm thinking about doing today in Trash to Treasure here is making a simple pipe load for the car. Definitely not something hard to make. I've got plenty of this aluminum rod around, and it's long enough to make a full pipe load for this gondola car. The gondola car is about a 52-foot car, and so I can make the pipes about 48 scale feet long easily. And that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, as you can see, I've got some fairly nice looking aluminum rods here. They're about right for some kind of pipe load that I could make in O scale. I'm going to grab my scale rule, and as I was saying, I could cut them into 48-foot lengths, because 48 feet will definitely fit in there. Good grief, 50 feet will fit in there easily. So what we're going to need here is I'll have to mark them off, cut them, that's about a 12-inch pipe, so that's a good sized pipe in O scale. And what I'm going to do is cut them into 48-foot lengths. And when I say 48 foot, I'm talking 48 O scale feet. That would be about 12 actual inches. Okay, one of the things I cannot stress enough on this is safety. When you're about to use a power tool of any kind, and you can see here I'm using my little Mighty Mite table saw to cut this pipe with, these little pipes. Always a pair of safety glasses. Listen, it's bad enough that injuries happen when you're working in the real world. It's a real tragedy when they happen when you've got when you're pursuing your hobby. I can get 5, from the pieces that I've got, I can get 5 of these out of it. Okay, we've got one cut so far. Again, it's not going to be bad. It's coming out okay. Oh, the Mighty Mite, you can get that at Harbor Freight. They still make them. It's another little safety concern you want to have with those, though, is I think they can be deadly, especially to fingers. So if you do get one or you have one, always be careful with it. Okay, as you can see, all my pipe fits the car. The 48 footers are all on the bottom, and then there's shorter bits and pieces that are left to kind of ride on the top, and that's how I'm going to set the load up. I'm also going to make it to where we have dunnage on the bottom of the load, and then I'm going to put chains around it. Back in the day, they used to use chain to actually hold the load together, even though steel straps at that time were coming into vogue and were being widely used. A load like this would probably be chained together. Okay, in order to make dunnage, and in case you're wondering what dunnage is, that's something that, you know, that's just usually strips of wood or lengths of wood that would go under the load. So we need to know what the inside width of the car is so that we can make the dunnage. So I'm going to take my scale rule here, and I'm going to measure, and a piece of 9 foot would work just fine. So at 9 feet, I'll come over here to my chopper, and I'll set it for 9 feet. Yeah, it's a little dirty. No, I'm not going to chop my scale rule into little bits and pieces. I refuse to do that. Nothing like having all these things in the way, huh? Sometimes I wonder if these tools are actually worth what we pay for them. Alrighty. That should hold it. And back here, I have a piece of strip wood. Yeah, that ought to work okay. I'm just going to make them 9 foot long. I just want them to fit the car. I'm not even going to paint those. I don't know if I'm going to paint the pipe or not. I might paint the pipe green to reflect sewer pipe of some kind. And it doesn't even matter if your cuts are actually straight. I'm just doing this because it's easier than working with I think my blade's getting a little dull. Okay. I see. Yeah. That's why it didn't pop in two. Alrighty. We'll do this. Let's see, I got 4. This will be number 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Alrighty. That should be enough right there. That gives me 1, 2, and then we'll just use a couple of skinny ones in the middle, or you know, kind of between them. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, as you can see, the pipe load. Okay, now I've got a little piece of chain here. I don't know if you can see it. I might have it too close. Anyway, I'm gonna start by starting on the top with these chains. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about too much about how it's going to look on the bottom. Alrighty. Cut off another piece of chain. This is nice little steel chain that I picked up. I think I picked it up at a hobby show, or I got it in something. Don't know what I got it in, but I got it in a box of junk I may have bought or something. Which I'm always buying junk. That's just the nature of the beast, right? Alrighty. I'm going to put 4 chains, you know, across it. Believe it or not, this super glue, once it hardens, it'll hold it just fine against that aluminum. Even rust and all. Let's see. Did I get enough that time? Oh, just barely. Okay. It's not going to go all the way around. It doesn't need to go all the way around. Like I said, when the load's in the car, you're not going to see the bottom. Alrighty. So the chain maybe doesn't really need to be as long as you think it does. I wish I remember where I got this chain. I always seem to have uses for it. Alright. Alright. Now we're going to give that a few minutes to dry, and then I'm going to turn it over and I'll get it on the bottom. Okay, we've got it ready now. And I don't care how it looks under here. I just want to make sure it stays. There, that's a nice secure load. Okay, whoop. Now, we're just about ready to try that load out in the car. But I can see that one of my pieces of dunnage here is just a little bit longer than it needs to be. So I'm just, crap. Alright, well, I'm going to take and just do this then. Now let's go do this again. Usually this stuff will stick like crazy, but sometimes it don't like to. So, all right. That piece ain't sticking out so far now. All right. Okay. Now, we're just about ready to try the load in there. We'll see if we have to cut anything down or anything. But the load should be ready to fit in. And not quite. Okay. That just figures, don't it? That just burns you up. Okay, as you can see, the pipe load is now in the car. That car looks like it's ready to be pulled from the shipper, or basically hauled in or pushed into the spot where it's going to be unloaded, the receiver. So the car looks a whole lot better with the load in it than it does just constantly running empty. Now, mind you, this is just the first load that I'm intending to do. I've got a lot, I picked up a box load, or a couple of box loads of parts and various brass shapes and stuff like that, and I'm going to make a load with that. I'm just trying to show you how you can turn a little bit of trash into a little bit of treasure to keep your model railroad looking very viable. So, God be with you all, and happy railroading until the next time.